So we thought this might be a good time for us to review what everyone's rights are under the Constitution.
The Constitution applies to everyone in the country, regardless of their immigration status. 9 News reporter Steve Staeger talked to an immigration attorney this afternoon. And Steve, he had some insight to share as to what people should do if there is a knock on the door.
Yeah, Aaron Hall says everyone, citizens or not, have rights under the 4th and 5th Amendments of the Constitution, and they should be aware of those rights if someone comes knocking. The 4th protects them from unreasonable search and seizure. The 5th is a right to due process. Now, Hall says in order to demand to open your door, federal officials would have to produce a search warrant signed by a judge or magistrate. Hall says it's rare that immigration officials would produce a search warrant like that. They're more likely to have an administrative warrant. Now, administrative immigration warrants, like the one you see on your screen, they don't give law enforcement or any officer the right to enter your home.
They do not have to open the door. They do not have to let people into the home. They don't have to answer questions about where they're from, where they were born. They can just say, I want to see a warrant. If they show them a warrant signed by a judge and the law enforcement enters, then they would be able to just say that they want to talk to a lawyer without incriminating themselves or giving any other information that could be detrimental to them.
So Hall says if you're approached outside of your home, you can ask, am I free to go? If the answer is no, then you're technically detained. And he says you should stay calm, document as much of that experience as you can, and speak to a lawyer as soon as possible. Live in the studio, Steve Staeger, 9 News.
You talk about people with lawyers with expertise as far as immigration, the idea that that information is also being shared among many right now.
Yeah, and we've heard from some people throughout the course of today who got a knock on their door, who aren't involved in these processes and wondered, like, are the police allowed to ask me some of these questions? These are the things to keep in mind. You have to be, in order for them to enter, you have to see that warrant, whether they slip it under your door, show it to you in a window, and look for that specific signed by a judge or magistrate.
Sometimes there is that language barrier too, and I think that also plays a role when somebody chooses to let someone in.
Certainly does. And I think a lot of people know their rights in these situations. They've been through this before, so they understand kind of where they need to go. They know the words to look for. But just another reminder to anybody as these apartment complexes are seeing these actions this morning.
All right, timely information. Thanks, Steve.